Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. As you guys know, Stephen A. Smith made news about 2 days ago because it was an image and some footage of him, I think, during Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Was it Game 3? No, Game 4 of the NBA Finals, where he was in attendance covering the game, and he was caught playing solitaire during a live game, right? When instead he's supposed to be watching the game because he gives a pregame analysis, a halftime show, and then the postgame analysis. It was like, how are you going to give an analysis of a game that you're not even watching and you're live in the arena, right? I think I heard Stephen A. Smith responded online saying it was halftime. Then they pull up the video. It wasn't halftime. They were playing. So there was that, right? But there's also been this storyline of Stephen A. Smith trying to make himself as big as the sport. Sometimes you see him walking into the arena. Some people be commenting in videos like, "Son think he think he's coming to play the game," right? So people used to joke about this, right? So I was just minding my business, and I was on the internet here, and I came across an article from Awful Announce, and it was centered on some comments that David Sampson made, right? David Sampson is part of DraftKings. Sometimes you'll see him on the Dan Patrick, is it the Dan Le Batard show? He'll make appearances on there as well, right? So he was reacting to this story, right? And as he's reacting to it, he then goes off on this tangent about Stephen A. Smith, why he tries to make himself the biggest storyline of the NBA Finals over the NBA Finals himself. And I'm like, yo, he is tearing this dude apart right now. So what I want to do is I want to play what he had to say. I actually thought it was pretty funny. And then want to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to what he had to say here.
Stephen A. Smith got torched, and I mean Torched. He was in the middle of a game where he's being paid $20 million to be the halftime guy, the pregame show guy, the postgame show guy. He's thinking of running for president. A lot going on in the world. I'm gone for a weekend, and quite a few things happened off the field this weekend. And someone over his shoulder took a picture and a video of Stephen A. Smith playing solitaire on his phone during the NBA game. Now, raise your hand if you do not live in a glass house. Just asking. I'm asking if every one of you pays complete full attention during the course of your day. You're not checking your personal email. You're not going on the apps. You're not going on social media. You're not going to Amazon. That you are locked in. And I mean locked in. Me defending Stephen A. Smith is laughable. Defending someone who I think is a complete blowhard, who does not have complete conviction in all his feelings and wants to just make sure that he can get clipped and aggregated. By the way, I am genuflecting in your general direction to get 20 million to do what you do. Believe me, that's a path on it. He's playing solitaire during the NBA Finals games. Then someone catches him. Then he tweets, I don't know what y'all talking about. It was during timeouts. The cover-up's always worse than the crime. I have no idea why he would tweet that, since it was clearly because the person who took the video panned out, by the way, the game was going on. Here's an idea of what Stephen A. Smith could have said. I'll do whatever I damn well please during the course of a game. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about what is going on around the NBA with ESPN, with the NBA Finals. The fact that Indiana was trying to take a 3-1 lead in Game 4. The fact that Indiana is a story of how teams are put together that got manifested only 2 days later when a trade was made by a team, Orlando, who wants to do exactly what Indiana's doing, hence copycat league. If it works for Indiana, let's make it work for Orlando. The gravitas, and I use that word understanding, that there are wars going on, there is genocide going on, there is misunderstanding going on, there's hate, there's death, there's shootings. I understand all that is going on off the field. But right now on the field, the job of the broadcaster is to give the proper weight and gravitas to that which they are presenting to you. This is not a Tuesday in the middle of the season. This is not a January 17th game. This is the NBA Finals. My background, old guy or not, is when our friend Bob Costas is setting up an NBA Finals game for you in the 90s, you think that not only is this appointment viewing, but you think, my God, they could be splitting the atom here. You think you're about to see drama in a way that you would expect a curtain to be the precursor to the feeling that you're about to have. You are about to be entertained in a way that merits the amount of money you are paying if you're in person and the amount of time you're spending if you are watching on television. My biggest complaint about Stephen A. Smith, about ESPN, is every single game of the NBA Finals, in my mind, forget the digital signage, which was totally botched. My view is that there is not that sort of excitement, that sort of drama, that this series has been full of drama. We've got a game 5 tonight, which is really game 1 in a 2 out of 3. Go back to the days when I was young and 66% of you were not even born. And the first round of the NBA playoffs, and Coca will not believe me, but then he'll look and he'll say, my God, you're just old. The first round of the NBA playoffs used to be a 2 out of 3. The most amazing thing about a 2 out of 3, and it was first round, but the most amazing thing is, yikes, you got to win game 1. This is the NBA Finals. This is tied at 2 with the game 5 coming up this evening. Do I think the story should be about Stephen A. talking about Tyrese Halliburton getting into another fight with a player? Because that's what you're all watching. You're all clicking it. You're all eating alive all of the ridiculousness off-court stuff that's being fed to you. Why do you think ESPN keeps doubling down on personalities who just yell into the microphone about nonsense with no knowledge of anything? Stephen A. is not understanding of what's going on because he doesn't do it. Stephen A. isn't the story. He's supposed to be the presenter of the story.
So you heard what he had to say. What are my thoughts about this? I think he makes a good point. Look, Stephen A. Smith has a huge ego, right? He always tries to make things about himself. He believes he's the center of attention. Hence the reason why he went off on that tangent when he was going at Tyrese Halliburton, when he felt like some comments were directed to him and started turning into, I'm not going anywhere and all of this. I'm like, yo, bro, what are we doing, man? You're talking about the athletes, bro. Don't like, yes, you play an integral role in the whole dynamic of sports, the athletes, the media and all of that. But come on, bro, stop with the, they talking about me and they talking. And this is the thing that LeBron said. He was like, when he went at Stephen A. Smith, he's like, Stephen A. Smith trying to act like he's not happy that LeBron went at him. It's true. Son do be getting off from the fact that people call him out because it gives him an opportunity to go on his bully pulpit and get at cats. That's what he does. Don't try to act like I said they don't know what they're talking about. Now, for him, David Sampson, to be taking it this far, it says that it's something that he has noticed, and I think a lot of people have noticed. Look, folks, ESPN has been under serious criticism over its coverage of the NBA Finals. People think they're doing a horrible job. They just don't like them. As a matter of fact, I think they're switching over tonight for the next game. I think it's going to be covered by ABC. Because I don't know why the switch, but they feel like they're doing an abysmal job. They think their halftime shows are horrible. They don't really give any analysis. They don't know how to really hype up the game. And when you're listening to the in-game commentary, you're like, yeah, this is okay, but they could do better. Which is one of the reasons why me and a lot of people were stunned when they let go of Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy, because they were a really good crew at calling the game alongside Mike Breen. So for them to do that, I think it was a total mess, and it's a mistake, and you're seeing that they're paying for it. We did a show reacting to some reports, that they're thinking about replacing Doris Burke at the end of these NBA Finals, right? People were talking about it. Rick Carlisle spoke about it. Richard Jefferson spoke about it. Some of them tried to turn it into a moment of virtue signaling. But anyway, ESPN has been under some criticism in terms of Stephen A. Smith trying to make, bro, that's your man, bro. That's your man, bro. That is your man's. Some of you on there trying to beef with NBA players and all of this. I'm like, I get it. If you could have an opinion and push back at guys, but bro, like, You respond to more subliminals than a rapper, bro. Like, it's every little thing ain't about you. Every little thing, bro. But that's Stephen A. Smith. I'm sure if he gets a whiff of what this guy had to say, he probably gonna respond to him too. As you guys know, your man Stephen A. Smith made some headlines for being caught during an NBA Finals game playing solitaire, right? We did a show about it. Some people are like, this is a non-story. I'm like, a non-story for you? You saying it like as if I'm not supposed to talk about it because you're not feeling it. If you feel it's a non-story, don't click on the video, my guy. Like, if you don't feel like it's a story, don't click on it. Don't give the video no engagement. But if you're going to click on it, then you're going to have to watch it. Ain't nobody, don't talk about that. Go sit down. What the hell? Like, people complaining about stuff that, like, as if they're forced to watch it. This is the part that kills me. Do you know how many channels I have blocked on YouTube? Or hit the not interested button or whatever it is? Do you know how many? Because once I see there's some content that I don't like, I'm not going to watch it. And if it somehow gets recommended to me in the future, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hit the not interested button again. I'm not going to sit down, click on a video that I don't like, go crying in the comment section about the video. Why would I do all of that? I don't have that kind of time. What kind of childish behavior is that? I'm not going to do that. No, man, you don't need to talk about it. You know, you need to sit down and let me do my thing. Like, come on. But anyway, he made headlines for that, right? People was roasting him as they should have. You know, you getting paid $20+ million a year to talk about sport. Bro, you better be watching the damn games, especially when you're there live. Otherwise, why are you there? You could have stayed in your hotel room, or you could have stayed in the back and just came out in the halftime. Because if you're not going to watch the game, then how do we know you even know what the hell you're talking about, right? Unless you have producers giving you the play-by-play what happened in each half. So anyway, that went down. People were reacting to it. People were roasting him all over the internet. But one person in particular took another shot at Stephen A. Smith yesterday on First Things First, and that person is Nick Wright. Now, this isn't the first time that Nick Wright has done this, right? And Nick Wright has had some issues with Stephen A. Smith over his beef with LeBron James, which we're going to get to a little bit later. But there was an opening segment of First Things First, and they were getting ready to prepare this show, and then Nick Wright just takes a shot at Stephen A. Smith out the blue to the point where even Chris Broussard is cracking up. Take a listen to this clip here.
The show that is upset about Rafi Devers being traded. I don't approve of this.
Oh, gosh darn it. Cat game again. Solitaire. No good.
Oh, wow.
No good.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know we were my bad.
Shots
My bad.
fired.
What? What? A
You're
guy
a-
can't multitask?
I'm just saying,
A
shots
guy
fired.
can't multitask?
First hour, first things
What?
first. Today, I was trying to do a serious thing about Devers.
So was I. I was listening.
Today,
I don't know.
So you heard Nick Wright there. You heard Chris Broussard cracking up. And I'm saying to myself, some people may feel like, oh, well, this is just out of the blue. Why is Nick doing this? Nah, Nick don't like Stephen A. Smith, bro. And it goes back to his beef with LeBron James and his comments on Bronny James. So for those of you who didn't remember what Nick initially said, because Nick actually went at Stephen A. Smith and called him out on his show. Nick Wright, I think, is a show that he does with his son, where he really went at him. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to play what Nick Wright had to say there, and then want to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to that there.
For seeding. Demonte, there is a follow-up here that I want to get to. This will make people mad probably.
So Bronny, he played in garbage time. He got a couple nice buckets at the end of the game. He had a really nice step back. So give us our Bronny update.
The Bronny update is: are we still gonna go crying on television, begging LeBron James to be a better father and stop this farce, or are we gonna be like, turns out Bronny is playing exactly like a generic 55th pick of the draft should play. So here's a fun one, Demonte. I looked it up this morning. Bronny James was the 55th pick of the draft. We're now more than halfway through the season. Where do you think Bronny James ranks amongst rookies in minutes? Let's just start with minutes. And again, this is, a little reductive analysis, but you would
Of how many
hope.
rookies?
I mean, there's a ton of rookies because you have all the 58 who were drafted and then all the undrafted kids. But my point is, you would hope that the kid drafted number 1 is near number 1 in minutes and points. You know what I mean? And so he was the 55th drafted rookie. Amongst all rookies, if it was just a generic, guy who you drafted 55th, you would hope you're getting in the moment, I guess, the 55th most production of the rookies. Like that would mean he's playing to his generic draft spot. So, we're at the All-Star break. How's Bronny doing? He is, amongst rookies, exactly 55th in minutes. Oh, okay, well, maybe that's because the Lakers are just, because he's Bron's kid, giving him more opportunities. He's 55th in minutes, but where is he in points? Amazingly, it's crazy that this happened. He is exactly 55th in points. Oh, okay. So he's played the 55th pick of the draft, has played amongst all rookies the 55th most minutes and has the 55th most points. What about other things? Where is he in assists amongst all rookies? And the answer is he is 47th. Oh, right in line, but a little maybe better than you'd have hoped. Where is he amongst all rookies in steals? Right? That feels like a fair question. Oh, he's 44th, the 55th pick of the draft. Okay, where is he in blocks? The 55th pick of the draft, Bronny James, is 42nd. The only category, the 6'2 guard, is not 55th or better amongst rookies, is rebounds, where he's in, I'll pull it up because I gave the exact ones on the other ones. I want to give the exact ones on this one. Bronny James in rebounding is, I had it right here, 63rd.
So you heard Nick Wright there. So this isn't the first time, right? This isn't the first time that Nick Wright has had an opinion on him. He's going to keep poking at Stephen A. Smith because he has issues with his guy, LeBron James. That's the thing, right? What is surprising, however, is that Nick is going at another person at another network like that. Generally, you don't see that. I can't really think of another time where one personality, let's say that works at ESPN, is going at somebody that works at FS1. I can't really remember that. Obviously, when those guys used to have their issues and all of that, people see it, but you're never going to talk about what's going on at another network, even if they're having some internal issues. Like even when Skip Bayless was having an issue with Shannon Sharp, nobody on ESPN was talking about it on air or during other shows. They just weren't doing that. So to see Nick Wright kind of break rank here, so to speak, and call out Stephen A. Smith just speaks to the fact that Nick Wright really be loving him some LeBron James, man. They all took Bronny under their wing like Nick acting like he Bronny uncle. He probably is. I don't know. Like an unofficial uncle or something like that for him to be going at Stephen A. Smith. And he not going to look, a lot of people got at Stephen A. Smith over that beef. A lot of people. I think Dan Patrick said Stephen A. Smith is embarrassing himself. Everybody got at him, right? Everybody. I didn't really see anybody in sports media defend Stephen A. Smith in terms of his contemporaries. I never saw any of that. In terms of the shot that he took at Stephen A. Smith over this clip, deservingly so. Stephen A. Smith be on there telling people, you need to do your job and you need to make sure you do this and make sure you do that. Well, bro, you at the game, son, they paying you 20 M's plus to watch the game. Watch the game. Watch the game. And if you get caught out there, just say, hey, man, you get caught out there. Somebody said, you better be lucky with Solitaire that they caught you watching on your phone. As you guys know, generally we're very lighthearted on this channel usually. Now we're going through the NBA finals, so that's usually the talk of the town. But I came across some sound here just a few moments ago from sideline sources. And it features something that was said today on ESPN First Take between the panel of Stephen A. Smith, Markieff Morris, Marcus Morris Sr., and Molly Karam, right? They were talking about the NBA finals. They were talking about Tyrese Halliburton. They also spoke about the news of Kevin Durant. Essentially, the Knicks not being interested in bringing in Kevin Durant, right? So this clip that I came across, actually, I don't know the context in terms of what they were discussing before. But basically, what the clip says is Stephen A. Smith says NBA players have told him they are afraid they would feel unsafe playing in Memphis. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? Which part of the league is this? Because I didn't know nothing about this, right? And obviously we know about the trade that just went down with Desmond Baines being sent to the Orlando Magic, who used to play with the Memphis Grizzlies. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is new information to me. I knew that Memphis had its issues in terms of crime and all of that, but I didn't know that NBA players were afraid. So what I want to do is I want to quickly play this exchange for you guys. It's only about 45 seconds or so. I want you guys to listen to it, and then I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to what was said here.
Listen, I know y'all got to go. You going to tell folks why nobody wants to be in Memphis, or you want me to do it?
Oh no! For a player like me, I just don't think that the league, like, for guys like me, I love to be in Memphis. I embrace it, but you got to identify those guys, right? And it's not that simple, especially a younger guy to identify that wants to be in Memphis. I want to hear you say, why you think
the people in Memphis is a great sports town, great fans, great people. Yeah. But there's an element there where cats like Jimmy Butler and others don't feel it's the safest environment. I'm talking to the local authorities in Memphis. You got to clean some of that stuff up because it's dissuasive to NBA players. They have talked about it. I know they've told me.
That's
excellent. So you heard what they had to say. Okay. Let's get into this topic here. Marcus Morris, obviously, and these guys said they would have no issue with it. I think those guys are from Philly. I don't know what part of Philly. Those guys are from Philly, also has some rough areas. Everywhere has rough areas, but so does Philly. So they said they would have no issue with it. But apparently, what I'm hearing is that some NBA players are petrified to play in Memphis over, safety concerns. What are my thoughts about this? Well, I have a lot. Okay. As you know, there are places everywhere in the world that's unsafe. If you look at the United States, there are a lot of beautiful places in the United States, but there are also very dangerous places in these same areas. I'll give you guys a perfect example of this. Los Angeles. Los Angeles has very beautiful areas, very safe areas like Brentwood, Beverly Hills, and all those other places. But then they also got some pretty rough places that you need to pay attention to, and we all know some of these areas. You look at Miami. Miami's very beautiful. But they got some parts of Miami that's very, very dangerous. You look at New York. Very, very beautiful state. Cool state. They got they got the Brooklyn Nets that play out there. In Brooklyn. I just recently went there for the first time. Right? So it's in Brooklyn. It's a metropolitan area. But Brooklyn is still Brooklyn. So don't mess around and end up in the wrong parts of Brooklyn. Why am I saying all of this? I'm saying all of this to say that there are dangerous parts everywhere you go in the United States. So to hear this, and I wanted to look up some numbers about the city of Memphis in terms of crime. At one point, it says in 2014, Memphis was ranked 11 in violent crimes in major cities around the U.S. In 2006, Memphis led the nation in number of violent crimes. So Memphis has a lot of issues. You just put Memphis crime, all kind of crazy stories are coming up just within the last day or two. So Memphis has had its issues, but for me to hear that NBA players are afraid to play there, I now have to think about, okay, how are you moving around? Right? Because I hate to bring it up and I'm not trying to be funny. Look at Ja Morant. Ja Morant looked like he blended in perfectly to me. Ja Morant looked like I never heard nobody meant Ja don't want to stay in Memphis because it's unsafe. Ja just blended in. But I'm bringing that up to say, like, how are you moving around? Right? How are you moving around that you would feel unsafe? Because it goes back to my original thought. Everywhere has dangerous places. I don't care what state you're in, what country you're in. Wherever you go, there's going to be good and safe places, and there will also be bad places. The only place I can think of a country that doesn't have dangerous places is Monaco. And the population of Monaco, I mean, the square footage of Monaco, who knows, it's super small, right? But everywhere has its issues. Everywhere. So it then makes me begin to believe these guys must be moving in a way that could put themselves in harm's way. Because I don't understand why it would be an issue to the point where you don't even feel safe playing in that city. Because there are people that live there, right? And to me, I'm like, if you're playing in a particular city and you're moving the right way and you're not going to the rough areas, and most importantly, let's not forget this one, not making yourself a bloody target, then I think you should be fine. If you go around with a piece of meat hanging around your neck, around a bunch of wolves, they're coming for that piece of meat. What am I talking about? If you're driving around in all of these unsafe areas and you running around with hundreds and thousands of jewelry on your neck, bro, you asking for it. I'm sorry. They will try you. You are asking for it. If you live in a flashy life and you're clubbing and there's a reputation of you blowing money all over the town and bro, you making yourself a target. You can also choose to live under the radar. But for the part that they're afraid to play in Memphis, I think some of it may have to do with the places you go to, right? Because there are people that are living in these places and they're doing just fine. Not to discredit the crime and all of that. I'm sure crime is an issue, but you gotta know how to move around, bro. You got, and the craziest part is this to me. These guys earn millions of dollars. So hiring high-powered security shouldn't even be a problem. But if you're making yourself a target, walking around with jewelry and all of that other stuff and letting people know that you got money and blah, 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 bro, you asking for it, bro. You're going to be somebody's lunch. They're going to turn you into food, bro. They're going to turn you into food. And also the type of energy you move around with. If you move around with this energy like I'm the illest gorilla in the jungle, they're going to test you. Oh, yes, they're going to test you. But if you're just like, hey, man, I'm just out here minding my business, man. I'm not looking for no problems with nobody. I'm just doing my thing, son. I'm cool. I'm living my life. I'm living low key or whatever. Not to say you can't have nice things, but you understand how to move, then you should be all right. But if you're on that other stuff, don't be surprised when it comes to you.